Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. It's 41 minutes after 6 o'clock. This morning, I told you guys we'd be chatting about World No Tobacco Day. And I want to welcome the chairwoman of the Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society, Dr. Santi LeBlanc. She joins us to talk about, well, what's happening this year in commemoration, or I guess to continue helping to stop people from smoking.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. LeBlanc. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Rockers. And morning, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm really good. Yes. World No Tobacco Day is just another opportunity for us all to remind everyone in Trinidad and Tobago and the world, basically, about the harmful effects of smoking, but not only smoking, but also vaping.
Also vaping as well. Now, before we get into that part of it, the Tobacco Bill of 2009, I understand that you guys were integral in bringing that forth and being a part of it.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the anti-tobacco bill.
The anti-tobacco bill, it's there. I mean, that helps. It helps with control. It helps with control of the use of tobacco in spaces, closed spaces. It helps with control of sale to minors, etc.
Right. And advertising as well.
And advertising, the making it look like it was sexy to smoke.
Right.
Because everything is. You remember long ago? I don't know how old you are.
In the movies,
you remember
they would have people
it was
smoking,
like this.
And I saw something where they were saying that they purposely did that to get more sales of tobacco.
Well, yeah, because that's how advertising works. It manipulates your mind.
Right.
So we got the bill passed. However, the enforcement of the bill is where we have an issue right now in terms of ensuring, for example, suitcase trade of tobacco, ensuring that we really put the graphics on those boxes to show you the effects of tobacco. Not only for cancer, but NCDs as well, non-communicable diseases. But now we have to go back to the drawing board because vaping was not really in existence
in 2009,
at that time.
No, it wasn't.
And so the tobacco industry
pivoted.
Yes, that's the word. Yes, that's the word.
They pivoted.
Yes,
but,
that's a new trend word.
Yeah. So, but we're here to discuss, how we can play our part in getting the message across more clearly. Last year, you guys did a campaign called "Consider the Consequences."
Yes, we did in collaboration with Scotiabank Foundation.
And how was the response to that?
For a campaign like that to go virtual in a pandemic, I think the response was very good.
Okay.
Our thought process, both Scotiabank and the Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society, is that the youth are our leaders, right, of the future, and we need to educate. It's if you teach our young people about the consequences of their actions, and we really nurture and educate, then we will have less fallout as they get older when it comes to your healthier lifestyles.
Yeah.
So Scotiabank and the Cancer Society collaborated last year, and it was amazing. I mean, we'd had to do all virtual.
Of course.
So that in itself was interesting.
But this year we get the chance to do it again, and to do a different one this time.
Yes.
This time you're calling it Can't Fool Me.
Can't Fool Me.
Tell me a little bit about that choice of a theme.
Well, we need to hit hard.
But what have people been fooled about? Is it the vaping?
Fooled, yes, they've really been fooled about vaping being less harmful, vaping being okay, vaping being used as a cessation product, which we don't use in Trinidad and Tobago as a cessation product.
So all of these things that we've been hearing about vaping, they just simply aren't true. It's not better than tobacco. It's not better.
A cartridge from a vape, from an end device, can actually carry as much nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
A whole pack?
A whole pack.
One cartridge?
Yes, and a cartridge could take 200 puffs, if I'm not mistaken. I don't smoke, never smoke, will never smoke. And you envision how much nicotine you take. And then envision this, Rockers. We've gone through, we're still going through a pandemic.
Right.
But the worst was 2.5 years that we've passed through. And the stress.
Yes.
The lack of coping mechanisms.
Yes.
Adults have lost their jobs. Children have had to face immense pressure with our education system not being prepared to go online, with children not having access to tablets or what. I mean, we have fallout in the education system. So you put that, people dying every morning, you wake up, you see how much deaths happen. You don't see your relatives for 2.5 years. If you
There's just a general lack of coping
so just think of
mechanisms.
all of that.
So we resort to things like
turn
smoking.
To? Because then the industry comes out and says, hey, this is cool. It helps you relax. It's not as bad as smoking. So we have to hit hard.
Yeah.
We have to let people know.
So what you're saying is that it's not as bad as smoking, it's worse.
It's worse because it has harmful side effects
What
on
are
your
the side
lungs.
effects of vaping?
You can get popcorn lung due to the additives.
What is popcorn lung?
Right.
Doesn't sound like they're selling that in the store.
It doesn't sound like it sells in the movie, right? So that is because due to some of the preservatives, like the flavorings and all of that they put into these cartridges, it affects your alveoli in your lungs, which is the smallest airway in your lung.
Okay.
And so your lung is damaged, basically. So it looks like popcorn, but it's not tasty and it's not healthy.
No.
It will reduce your lung capacity.
Okay.
You know, I mean, we just need to let people know. I mean, I don't know, you know, like I heard about that, the chicken interview before, and, you know, his first reference was about fast foods.
Yes.
And so that makes me wonder our mentality. Are we really making healthier choices? And we have to get that message. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that we have to stand up and we have to teach our children, us the adults. If we can't change our ways, if you can't teach an old dog new tricks, that's fine.
But sometimes I wonder if it's not just that we don't want to, but like, you know, making the healthier choices oftentimes so much more expensive.
And that's the thing. So we now have to ask our leaders of the Caribbean to regroup, put their money where their mouth is, and really walk the walk with our people. And really and truly allow for this not to be more expensive.
But does it trickle down?
Resources.
Does it trickle down like you just talking about the chicken interview, and it's like, you know, the changes happen above the farmers. The changes happen in places that we don't feel like we have control of it, and we wonder why.
And I really wonder why, because we put everybody there. We put all the leaders there, you know. So you wonder what, you know, but I don't think we should give up hope. I do think that the pandemic allowed us to see what we could plant in our garden. It allowed you to relate more to your neighbor in terms of what you have in your yard, what I have in my yard.
Yeah.
You know, I prefer to pay, if I'm going to pay more money, I prefer to pay for something that came from here.
Yeah.
And if we do that, if we, the consumers, change that paradigm and change that story, then we are telling the distributors, we are telling the importers, this is what we want, so you need to give us this. And that's what, and I'm not a politician, but that's what we need to give.
No, but it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. But let me, I mean, we don't have much time, and this conversation could go on. Sorry, I think you don't need the wrong part there. Let me get back on track. So we have some seminars coming up that can actually help you get some more information about what you need to know when it comes to tobacco and how you can prevent. Is it help you to stop smoking? What
Both.
is it?
It's so Scotiabank Foundation collaborated with again this year, and it's our leadership webinar series. So the first one is launching on World No Tobacco Day, which is the 31st, from 4 to 6, and the information should be somewhere because there's a lot of information, right? So this is for us to educate the youths, but also their parents and adults, because it's never too late to stop smoking and stop vaping.
Right.
And it's never too late to never start.
To never start, right?
So this is to educate on breaking through the myths, giving you the facts. So education is our weapon and our tool to help you make healthier life choices. So this is us talking to you about, yes, what we need to do at a political level and advocate more and more to help get these things out of the market completely. But also we have an oncologist speaking to you about what it does to your lungs.
Right.
We have another doctor speaking to you about tobacco cessation, about the reality and the truths of these devices, both vaping devices and nicotine itself. And then we have a motivational speaker, because, Raucus, we have to look at the whole. It has to be holistic, and we have to give you the tools and understand and show that we understand why people make those choices.
And I was about to ask about that part of it. I mean, you're saying motivational speaker. Is there any sort of therapy involved? Because oftentimes, like you mentioned before, it's a coping mechanism for people. So sometimes they can't deal with whatever stress is at home or at work or wherever they're feeling stressed, and they resort to something like smoking as a coping mechanism. So if you're telling me to stop doing that, are you going to replace it with something else, or how do we fix that part of it?
So that is it. This is the beginning. This is opening your eyes to what is and what can be. So it's about self-esteem. It's about self-awareness. It's about mindfulness. These trigger words that we heard all during the pandemic, but it's real. And it doesn't mean you have to pay thousands of dollars for it, but it means that we want to let you know that the support is out there, and don't give up. You understand? So it's not just, oh, you shouldn't smoke because you're stupid, or, you know, it's, we understand what can happen. We understand the manipulation of the industry, and that's important to note, that there's a great manipulation of the industry. But we can fight back, we can give you the tools, and don't lose hope.
I think that's a nice way to wrap it up there. Don't lose hope. Before we leave, though, can you give us any information to contact you guys if we want more info on the webinar? And on
Yes.
how are we going to continue
So
spreading of this information?
we're on Facebook and Instagram, but you can send an email as well to projects@cancer.tt.
Projects@cancer.tt,
Yes.
right? It's up on the screen there.
And then we have a number 800 TTCS, and so you can call them and ask them for the projects department.
Okay.
But you can message us on Facebook and Instagram. But the registration flyer is all over social media.
And this is free, right?
And it's free.
Right.
That's important. It's very free, and it's good quality stuff, good information, and we won't give up. So thanks
And we
so
can't
much.
afford to give up. We have a whole nation to save, right?
Yes, yes, we do.
I want to thank you very much, Mrs. Chairwoman, for joining us this morning and sharing with us the information. Guys, the webinar is happening. It's launching from next Tuesday, which is World No Tobacco Day. Thank you very much, Dr. LeBlanc, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's
Not a
quite
problem.
entertaining.
Do enjoy the rest of your day.
Same to you.
All right, we take a quick break, and when we come back, we celebrate birthdays here on the Now Morning Show. Stay tuned.